Now, I wanted to leave the last portion of the show to a listener question, but before that, some news broke out today about WWE 2K15. Of course, there's still the strong rumor that it's coming out for PC. People have sent out messages to 2K. 2K refuses to comment, but it seems like it's going to happen. My guess is they're not announcing it because they definitely want people to get the newer consoles. And if they announce it for PC, much like me, it's like, well, there's no reason for me to get a PS4 if I was just getting it for that. However, the confirmed information we got from IGN, which Ryan is going to bring up, is something about the next gen or current gen, however you want to say, the Xbox One and PS4 mode called MyCareer. So, Ryan, can you tell us something about it and your excitement for it?
All right, so there's an article on IGN that you should all check out because it's going to give more details, but I'll kind of gloss over things. We've talked about the MyCareer Mode where it's going to be your created superstar and you start, from the performance center now that we're learning all the way up to, main eventing WrestleMania potentially. So from what they've gathered over is you actually start legitimately at the performance center training with Bill DeMott as he yells at you. So that's pretty cool. Then you eventually move up to NXT where you're going to be fighting the likes of Sami Zayn, Adrian Neville, Corey Graves. I believe Rusev, as of game time, is still in NXT.
Bo Dallas.
Yes, Bo Dallas as well. And then I guess one really cool thing is if your friends have the game as well and they have created superstars, your friends' superstars, whoever you're friends with, their created characters will actually show up as CPUs or whatever in your career mode.
That is awesome.
Which is just really cool. They might just do a run-in, so your friend's character might just randomly run into the game and start a feud with you or something. So some really awesome news there. The most impressive thing to me in this whole mode is as you're working your way up, it's not completely about wins and losses. So in the past, when you've played games where you just crush Triple H in 5 seconds by doing a bunch of running DDTs, that's no longer going to get you to the main event spot. It's about your quality of match too. So if you have, a 20-minute match where you just tear the house down, all these false finishes, and maybe you come up short and you actually lose the match, that's going to give you more momentum into moving up in the ranks than it is to just do a 2-minute beatdown squash match. So there's actually sort of this match rating system where the better matches you have, the better you're likely, the more success you're going to have. And there's apparently going to be this interaction with the in-game social media. So you might be able to start like a Twitter war with Zack Ryder, and then that becomes a feud. And there's apparently even going to be an instance where if you start doing heel-like tactics in match, that actually can, in a way, turn you heel. Where, if you're using the exposed turnbuckle on somebody, that actually might get the crowd to notice and actually start booing you. So just on paper, this sounds like the greatest thing ever, but, we're going to see how it is in practice. But what did you think, Juan?
When I read it, you sent me and Keith a message saying that, you were just in love with the game mode. When I read it, I was just like, man, I'm not getting a PS4 or an Xbox One, but this is pushing it. This is what we've sort of wanted. For how many times have we complained about the 30 years of WrestleMania or the Attitude Era mode, which is like, I have to win the match. I have to wait for this specific moment. What happens when you take that away, which is like, guess what? The moment of the match, I choose it. If I want to be a heel, I can expose the turnbuckle and keep using that. Have people hate me. That's my path. I actually choose my path. Now, as you mentioned, this could work or this could be horrible. The same way with the Undertaker streak mode. There's ways of exploiting these things. So if that's not the case, if they really do a good job of polishing this, which could be why they delayed the game. Think about it. This makes a lot of sense. Think about the AI, think about like all the coding, whatever the hell they got to do to make this work properly. This could be a game-changing experience. This could be an endless story mode. We brought up like SmackDown 2, No Mercy. They have these extensive story modes. You could have created superstars each time, take them down, the exact same thing. But, one time I'm going to get, Hans Chaddington interfering in my match. I may get Chicken Shot in the other one. It's like, what's going on? You never know what to expect. One thing I'm a little bit worried is they brought up the fact that it'll adjust your CW's attributes. So like this is how you get their stats up. Obviously, we like to create a lot of guys. So what happens if I want to have 10 guys? Does that mean that I need to have 10 guys go through that? Because that's going to be a little bit rough. But they definitely are going all out on the simulation aspect. If you check out the videos on YouTube, there's still no official ones, but from the alpha build, it's a much slower game. For better or worse. I mean, it looks very fluid. It looks very smooth. You can tell it's the same game, but they're just polishing the crap out of it. So, I mean, we always say this. Whenever they implement something, it's like, oh, next year it's going to be way better. If this works really, really well this year, I mean, next year's game is going to be off the chain when they built the ground that, who knows, they can do an online MyCareer Mode, like a legitimate all-out thing. I mean, what do you think about that? How big do you think they can make this?
I think that's the next step. Like you said, this is the foundation, and they're just going to build on it. This is the first game of the new generation, and it's clear they're actually making an effort to make it a sort of next-gen game. So I think online would be the next step. I've always talked about how you could compare it to Madden's online franchise mode, and it's perfectly doable. Where, everyone can kind of be on the same roster and, say there's just a Monday Night Raw. Well, certain people, everyone might have individual matches that night and, everyone can just play their match. And when it's done, whoever's the leader of the franchise just moves on to SmackDown. And if two people have to face each other, then they can coordinate a time to play against each other. It's a perfectly possible thing for them to go. But they got to build that foundation, and this career mode, if it's what it says it's going to be, sounds really awesome. And funny enough, one of the biggest things to me that matters is the fact that you don't have to win every single match, and that every time you play it, you're not just going to go down the same 2 or 3 branches. It's pretty annoying when you have to win every single match, and it's just a very linear story. So the fact that it's not going to be linear and that it's actually going to be difficult from what they imply to win the world title makes it seem like it's going to be a long and fun process.
Yeah, but it all boils down to the thing you brought up. Will it work? Because based on all that you mentioned, the first thing that I thought of that I want to do is like, I want to be like Stone Cold when Bret Hart got him in the sharpshooter. I want to be the guy that people love because I lost in a certain way. Does the game go to that extreme length? Like, I won't purposely have a 20-minute match, because I'm on the NXT main event or whatever in the story mode, and I'm taking on the champion. I'm going to lose, but I'm going to lose so freaking well that they will have to move me up or something. Does the game take that into an account? Damn, it would just be amazing.
I think when it comes down to it, it's all about how the whole match rating system is going to be and how smart it's going to be. I mean, we saw a little bit of this, just a little bit of a taste of this with the Undertaker streak mode where it rates your match afterwards.
Yeah.
That's about the closest thing that they've made an effort for with this before now. And so hopefully they ramp that up and it can really actually read and kind of be intelligent about what makes a good match. Because it could be a really exciting feature. And, it's true with what you're saying, like, losing in an epic fashion, like that can be a really great way to kind of get your guy over. But it's really how good are they going to make that match rating?
Yeah, and it's one of those things where even if IGN or anybody does the video of it, it won't be the same as when you actually get to play it. Unfortunately, we may not even get that opportunity. I don't plan on getting a next-generation console. However, if the PC version has this content and not just the PS3 version, then, I can't wait to get my hands on this. Remember, WWE 2K15 comes out on October on PS3 and 360, and on PS4 and Xbox One, it actually comes out a month later.